Hey guys, Steve here with the strategy session for Thursday, August 7th. A little bit more of the same action as yesterday, a little bit more up and down, and finally towards the end of the day we closed lower. That's been the pattern, I guess, for this week. Is the closes have been definitely controlled by the bears. So, as we talked about yesterday, if you look at the S&P futures here, we were really trying to hold that 1922 level. Today we've bounced down there and rallied back in the last couple sessions. Today we actually came further down, almost I think exactly to 1900. 1899.75. So one tick lower than 1900, and then we bounced higher with some impressive tick readings towards the end of the day. Again, I don't see a lot of support between 1922 and 1887. So, tomorrow, I guess, we'll see what happens, but I wouldn't be surprised to see 1877 or 1887 tested in the next coming days, weeks. I think at this point, the market is definitely broken. All the indices seem like they're close to being broken. The strongest one being the NASDAQ. That one's still holding on to that 50-day moving average. The Dow, again, that one broke first. Kind of the same pattern as the S&P, just this, lower, each bar is a lower high and a lower low. So not a lot really, going on here. As far as, upside is concerned, if you're trading short side, then you definitely have the wind at your back. For us right now, we're, like I said yesterday, predominantly a long. I really only take long trades. Maybe eventually we'll incorporate some shorts, but over the last, couple of years, there hasn't really been a need to be able to short the market just because the market's been going higher. So as I said, that's market's been going higher. That's really all I look at is long trades. And I think there's a lot of other issues with trading short. As far as margin and not everybody can do it. So I really try and make this for everyone and make it a long only portfolio. And to be honest, that's kind of what I'm comfortable with. But with that said, as I said, we're still, it just, to me, it doesn't seem like there's a big rush to go ahead and get long stock. Obviously, we will continue to take our trades when we see them. But we are actually going to be going through all of our positions tonight, and a couple that I still want to go over that we've been going over for the last couple nights. But Apple, okay, really still same thing. Came down, moving sideways, testing this 50-day moving average, testing this 93.09 level. Right now we're testing the breakout from back here. This is where we entered. Okay, we entered on the 7th. That was a great looking setup. We went sideways, broke higher. Now we're back to about where we entered. And our stop is 93.09. So, if we do get stopped out of this, it's a small loss. ADM, same thing. Again, it gapped up after earnings, really moving sideways. This is a good looking, to me, looks good. Only for the reason that we've had some sell-offs the last few days. And the fact that this is just moving sideways and not down, to me, tells me there's not a lot of people looking to sell. Right now, our stop is 45.92. I anticipate in the next few days, especially if we can get a move higher, that this 50-day moving average catches a little bit of an updraft. We'll be able to move our stop up a little bit to 46.30. AMT was the bright spot today, kept us actually, if I remember correctly when I looked, I think we were up on the day. So again, that's a good sign that we're in good stocks. But again, this has been our strong stock. Here was our little consolidation that we had talked about the last few days, and we got that breakout today. Ultimately, if you're aggressive, you can move your stop to this 94.24. For us, we are going to keep it down here for right now at 90.83. Next stop area would be 92.13. Again, waiting for that 50-day moving average to catch up. APD really just coming back, testing the breakout area. Okay, previous resistance becoming new support. That's what's happening here. So this breakout area, this 130.73 area, that looks like is, it's under pressure right now. I think if we can get a little bit more of a downdraft in the market, we're definitely going to come into this trend line. Okay, this trend line obviously looks broken at this point, so let's remove that. And we're going to kind of go with this trend line here, which is also 50-day moving average. So, basically if we came down here, we'd be close to putting in a lower low, right? Here would be a low, and then if we had a low down here, and that would be a good trigger to exit the trade. EQR, really not much of anything going on the last few days. Take that off. I think we're kind of more in another consolidation area. Kind of looking around this kind of box. All right, let's see if we can make a move to the top of the box. All right, and then that really defines this lower area. If not, stop it right here, 63.16, which right now is below trend line and below 50-day moving average, and that coincides with this little consolidation in here. Expedia, again, another one that I feel is holding up well. Open red box essentially means that we opened here at the low, 82.76. We closed at 83.54. So while the market was actually going down today, Expedia was being bought and moving higher. If you look at the weekly setup, there's nothing not to like about that setup. So like I said, right now, stop 77.42. We get a little breakout and move higher. I'm hoping to move stop to 79.42. All right, again, wait for that 50-day to move higher. Wait for this to move higher. Fidelity. All right, this is close. We're really close to exiting this position. Stop right now is 54.71, which is the bottom of this consolidation area. We've already broken trend line support, 50-day moving average, and the only thing that's standing in our way from our exit right now is 54.71, which was the low of this consolidation area. All right, so let's see what happens. If this breaks, we're going to exit. If you look at the weekly chart, obviously there's nothing really wrong with the uptrend. We could essentially pull all the way back to this 53.03 and not necessarily put in a lower low, but from trading based off of a trend, this is excuse me, this is the trend that we had drawn. Okay, this yellow line here, and if that's right now, what's happening is that's being broken on the weekly chart as well. So there's really no reason. The reason we got in the trade was thinking that this would resume higher along this trend line. That trend line is breaking, so it's time to leave. The last one, Wyndham. We will be exiting Wyndham today. All right. Again, looking at it from a weekly perspective, longer term, I would say the trade's really not invalidated till we break this low, this 72.37, which is the low of this bar, the last touch. But if you look at our daily chart, here was our trend line. Okay, here's 50-day moving average. And here was previous consolidation lows. All right. So right now, we've broken this low here from 717. We've broken the trend line, and we've broken the 50-day moving average. So to me, that tells me it's no longer trending higher. Maybe it's sideways, maybe it's down, but it's not higher. And with the market acting the way it is, we're going to take that stop and gladly exit. There's no reason to sit in a trade just to be right. Ultimately, yes, this could be the bottom, and maybe it goes higher. But if that's the case, we're going to set another alert for this 77 level. Okay, we'll actually do it right now. Last, at or above. All right, so now if we start breaking higher, we'll be able to re-enter the trade. All right, so, ultimately, I would like to see it break over 78. This 77.50 alert that we just set, kind of bring our attention to it. But for right now, I don't see any reason this doesn't test 72.45, in my opinion. Down, trend line is now down. We had these highs. Okay, there's your trend. It's reversing. So again, no reason to be long. One stock we've talked about for the last few days is Tesoro. All right, guys, I really like this trade. Let's just activate this actually. Let's say that's our trend line. Right in there. We're starting to break this weekly consolidation. Here's the daily consolidation that I was looking at. And as far as relative strength goes, this is actually breaking out when you look at other stocks like APA, other energy stocks that we have on our watch list. APA is at the bottom of the box, right? What else we have? Hess, middle of the box. APC was actually up today, but where is it? Bottom of the box. Marathon, breaking down. Okay, breaking down from below. English, Steve. I get all excited sometimes, guys. Breaking the bottom of the box. All right, bottom of consolidation. APA. Again, testing the bottom of consolidation. And look at Tesoro. Big difference, right? So this is relatively strong to its sector. Even, what's this one? WMB. Williams. Again, great looking setup. Nothing like Tesoro. So this is what I want to keep an eye on, all right? Technically, we probably could enter a trade right here because we have a breakout. But what I want to do is I want to just give it one more day. If we can get another move higher tomorrow, then we would enter this trade. And let's put a longer term stop. We'll actually put our stop down here at 57, all right? Or we could do it at 59. That's something I'll look at because, really it hasn't been below the 50-day moving average. So this may be a little bit too wide. So maybe 59 is more the place it would go. But again, I want to see a nice open green box tomorrow. And then we would enter Monday morning. One other stock I want to show you is Disney. As quick as this looked like a great trade on potentially, what was it? It was actually yesterday. Yesterday. Great looking trade. Now we're back to testing the bottom of the consolidation. All right. So if we get a breakdown here, it's the same thing as UMP. All right. It's a no-go. Just because we like the stock and just because I want to own it. I want to own it for the kids. But fact is, I'm not. It's plain and simple. If it's not breaking out, if it's breaking down, there's no reason for me to be long. All right. WDC holding up well. We talked about this one the other day. Okay, still basically right at the top of the box. Marriott testing the 50-day. Hess testing the 50-day. We had a couple other stocks that were up today. I don't think anything of significance. So we talked about Tesoro. Public Services, again, same thing, breaking out. Again, I'd like to see that. This is another possible entry that we can make. But I want to see one more day. I want to see some follow through. HCP testing the bottom, no go. H&R Block, downtrend line still intact, right? So this is a little bit of a different trade, whereas you could look at this now as your box. All right, because you get a breakout over this 32.62 level, and now what's happening is you're coming in to support, breaking out. So you don't have to wait till it gets over 33 or anything like that. It could eventually, yes, could it be one big consolidation? Absolutely. But by breaking this downtrend line and breaking this 32.60 level, we could keep a real tight stop. We could probably even go right to this low here, 31.60. Maybe you have $1 stop on a $30 stock. Not bad. And again, APC really just moving sideways. So just to wrap up, we're exiting our trade, our position in Wyndham. All right. I think eventually, does it make its way higher? Most likely, just because that's usually what happens. But we're going to take the trade, right? We're going to exit. We're going to protect our profits. It's not going to be a huge loss. I think it's maybe, half an hour or not even maybe half an hour. So we essentially entered here at 75.81. We're risking $1, and off the top of my head, I don't remember how many shares we bought, but $1 risk is all we gave up. So exiting win. Tesoro is definitely high on the watch list, as well as RSG. Okay, So that's it for tonight, guys. If you haven't, take a look at the Anatomy of a Stock Trade video, where I go over from start to finish our trade in Amazon, where we move stops. Obviously, it wasn't a success, but just as well as I showed you Facebook and Netflix. Actually, not Facebook, Netflix and Caterpillar. Those were great wins. I also want to show you how it doesn't work all the time. So get over to that trade video, and then like I said, follow me, StockTwits, Twitter, Google+, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also subscribe to the nightly recap to get all your future updates delivered right to your inbox, especially if you're not on the social media networks. I definitely think that's a great way to go. And with that said, have a great Friday, and I will see you Saturday for the weekend update. Take care, guys.